Hey, I'm Steve Speck with Exo Mountain Gear. Today we're going to walk you through how to completely tear apart a pack, basically from fully assembled to all the parts and pieces that make up the components of the pack. And the reason we would do this is if you just came home from a hunt, your pack is really bloody and dirty, the best way to get it really clean is to break it completely down. That way you can get all the kind of cracks and crevices of the pack cleaned out well. So we're going to take apart the pack, starting with the lid. That's the first thing to go. Pop the lid buckles off. Flip it over. You got the two buckles connecting the lid to the top of the frame. Next to come off is the bag. You just pop off the four compression straps, two each side that go from the frame back to the bag. And then you're going to go to the bottom here, and you kind of got a series of three, a ladder lock, tri-glide, and then another ladder lock. These are all designed for compressing up the bag to the bottom of the frame, depending on how much volume you have in the bag. So just quickly slide everything out. Flip the bag over and go to the top of the frame. And voila, bag is off the frame. Set that to the side, and then come into the frame. To take the harness off, we're just going to unthread the webbing from the ladder locks that's sewn here at the top of the frame. And then you'll unthread the bottom, which is the webbing that's coming off the bottom of the lower. And I just peel up the Velcro, and then I just kind of grab both sides of it so that I'm keeping the Velcro from contacting. And then you just use your finger to push this webbing aside here, and you've got that metal C right there that you can see how that hooks on. So now we've continued to break the frame down. I'm going to remove the whole upper from the lower, which is really simple. Peel that up, and that's going to pop off the belt. Down here at the bottom, we've got our frame extensions, which you're going to use potentially while you're out there in the field if you want to make the frame taller for hauling heavier loads. Set those aside. And then the top of the frame is inserted into the upper right here. Just peel that. Grab the bottom, and the titanium frame is going to slide right out. And there you have your frame panel. You can, if you're going to wash this, sometimes you can take that Velcro and stick it up like that, and that's going to keep it from rubbing on other items in the wash. So that's your frame panel. Coming to the hip belt here, the lower. Just going to unbuckle that and peel the Velcro off the back and off the front, and that's going to access the lumbar pad. This right here is where you can access the actual foam in here. So we sell a lumbar kit on the website where you can swap out this foam to a denser foam if you want, just to give you more customization options. And then to take the hip belt off, we use these plastic shims here at the office. You can do this with your fingers. Just kind of scratches your knuckles up a little bit, so it's easier to use the plastic. So just slide that in, break the Velcro loose, and then I'll go to the other side of the belt. Same thing, and the belt will just pull right off. Okay, we have completely taken a pack down to all of its components here. We're going to soak it in that ice bath. We let everything air dry overnight, and we're going to put it back together. Starting with the frame upper. So I've got my extensions. This part just makes putting the frame in a lot easier. So I'll take the extensions and put them in the Cordura tubes that are sewn in here. And then if you just take the frame and put it on, what I like to do is just put this into my chest and just kind of wiggle it so everything falls through. And then I'll slide it kind of up so there's not tension on the Velcro. I'll take that flap and then I'm just gonna put it back over and just line up the Velcro on there like so. And then if you stand the pack up and kind of slide down, you'll pull tension on the frame panel. Then to put it back into the lower, insert those, slide it up. And with the Velcro, you don't want to put too much tension in the upper. Just pull it nice and tight and then Velcro it down, and that's all you got to do. We've now constructed the lower, inserted the frame to the upper. The next thing I can do is go to the harness and just, again, the metal C, I'll take it and get it started on one side. And then I'm just going to use my finger to push that webbing over so I can get the C on and get it into place. Buckle it down. Then you're going to take your load lifter strap and run it through the top ladder lock. And you just run it through the back side, which is closest to the webbing where it's sewn to the frame panel, and then back through the front. And if you get this wrong, you're going to know it because the ladder lock, when you go to pull on it, the webbing will just slip right through. And then I'm going to connect the lower webbing to the harness. And you just take this and grab so it's flat right off, and I'll just run my finger out to the edge. And then you just give it kind of a half twist into the ladder lock that's sewn at the bottom of the shoulder harness. And you'll know you've got it right because you can kind of visualize that there's no twist in the webbing when it's on, when it's on your body. You just don't want this to be twisted and have kind of a rubbing point on your side. So, to get the belt on, I like to flip the lumbar pad up. And then again, we've got the shims here in the office, which make this a little bit easier. Important to note the size, so small, medium, and large. That label you want to put on, it's always on the left side as you're wearing the pack, and that'll be facing down. It's kind of easy. You have the potential to put the belt on backwards. I'm going to slide that on. And the belt, you've got the 2 red indicator lines. Those are kind of your, basically all the way into the first red line is going to be the shortest setting, all the way out to the other one is the longest setting of the belt. And you just want to line up the seam of the belt with the line. That's going to set the proper angle on it. Same thing on the other side. And put the lumbar pad back on. One thing that's important to do is on the lumbar pad, when you're putting it back on, you kind of want to push down on it so that the bottom of the lumbar pad is flush with the bottom plastic back here. If you pull down on it and then pull it around, it's just going to slide up the second you put the pack on. So we have rebuilt back up the frame, and now it's just a matter of attaching the bag. So I'll just set this frame down, or suspension down, take the bag, put it on, and I normally just default to going right to the bottom. So on the bottom of the bag, you got the 2 webbing pieces coming out, and thread the ladder lock on. Pull that tight, and you just get the bag. You just kind of want to pull that tight and take basically, there's no loose webbing on the back side of it. The bag is as tight as it can be to the lower. And then you're going to go through this tri-glide here and then up to that next ladder lock. Go do the other side. And then one thing I like to do is, even when I'm out in the field, I'll take extra webbing and tuck it between the frame and the bag just to keep it out of your way. So I'll just take that lower compression strap, bring it back to the bag. So I've now connected the bottom, connected the 4 buckles, 4 compression straps that come from the frame to the bag, and then you can just put the bag lip back on up here at the top. Open those up. And the last step is to take that flap and put it down. And then the lid, just gonna buckle in. Flip the pack over. Buckle it down. And that is a completed bag. So we just got the pack completely built back together. It's nice and clean, ready for the next adventure. For more information, check us out at exomountaingear.com.